Yeah, you can't take prophecy seriously though, can you? It doesn't literally happen, does it? Israel didn't really become a nation, did it? Jesus didn't really come, did he? Jerusalem didn't really get captured again by the Jews, and all these prophecies didn't really happen, did they? But to us, not only does it make sense, we can see it happening, we can see most of it has happened. Israel has come back, these nations have formed a coalition, Iran has attacked, Russia is backing them, taking it as literal. It has to be after 1948, and it has to be at least 7 years. It could be more, could be a long time before, but it has to be at least 7 years before the return of the Lord. Because there's a 7-year clearing up process that they're involved in. Other than that, we don't know when it happens. And because we don't know when the end is, when the return is, when the rapture is, but we do know when we begin to see these things happen, we do know this war is sort of coming closer.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth, and shalom to the elect. Shalom to you few sisters, shalom to the elect. So anyway, I want to go on this controversial video. I've been seeing this a lot. Because now you see a lot of so-called Middle East conflict, and now the people that somehow put themselves in that position, knowing this position, self-prophesied their so-called position and say that they're the people of God, so it has to be them. And these Christian churches are flowing with it, right? So when we understand prophecy, the majority of the times when you deal with prophecies, it has to be interpreted to you. That's also what prophet means. When we was bought in the transatlantic slave trade and we lost our identity, Jeremiah 17:5, and all these things happened to us, we didn't know. We didn't know about any of these prophecies. And when it talks about being awakened in the last days, if all these people claim to be the people of God, then what do they need to be awakened from? But after all, they don't. I mean, it's the last days, and the Christians, who's this Australian sounded like, I think he sounded like he's Australian, right? At the end of the day, where is Apostle Paul walking down the streets of Jerusalem? I mean, the prophets. I think they say the prophets are done away with or something like that. So why do we have preachers? Because that's another name for prophet. As you see him doing, so-called interpreting the scriptures. So we see it's, we can see Christians are not smart and they're liars and they'll say and do anything to fit their doctrine, right? But where's the conversion? In fact, in order to wake up the people, you must have a conversion. And there must be somebody there to help those people in Israel convert. So I thought they were supposed to be converting. But every time a Christian goes there, they get themselves handed on a platter. Anyway, it doesn't make sense, and the children of Israel, we'll get into that in a second. Ezekiel 38, I'm just going to read a little. I'm going to go here to verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, the prophecy against him, and say, thus the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, right, the chief priest of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with sorts of armor, even great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So, and it goes on to talk about Persia, Ethiopia, Libya. When you go to the children of Israel, all these nations had a hand in the children of Israel captivity. And America is what's going into as well is a big plot of this. So when you look at them people, we can go to 1948 and before that, the declaration, you know, a lot we can't say, but even after World War I, and the plan is to self-prophesy and put yourself there to say, see, I am the people. You know what I'm saying? There's no mystery there. The mystery of the truth in prophecy is for the elect. And other people may know, but as far as the deep mysteries is for the elect. You know? So at the end of the day, you can't plant yourself somewhere, right, and say it's by God and unrighteously destroy people and kick them out of their homes. Unrighteously. But they're saying, because this is what God has done in the past, this is what we're allowed to do. So now, according to 1 Chronicles 17, why is the earth at rest? Also, I will ordain a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, and they shall dwell in their place, and shall be moved no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as is the beginning. So, according to this prophecy, why is the children of Israel, as they claim, are being wasted? Okay? It says, be thou prepared, and prepare thou for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and thou guard unto them. Let me go on down. I'm just trying to scroll through. I'm kind of going to get to the point. Thus the Son of Man prophesies, say Gog, right? Russia. Thus saith the Lord God, the Lord Yahweh, in that day when my people Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts. Let me go back before this, because the children of Israel will be dwelling safely. They think what they're trying to do is say is them, but when the Babylon is destroyed and we're taken up, right, the elect, let me say that, and then the earth will start. That's the process of the world getting back in order, and their so-called slavery begins. You know, and it says, and thou come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all them riding horses, and a great company and a mighty army. Right. So we also see that Russia and these nations, they're all going to come together, and they're going to come against America, right? And they're going to shoot those missiles on America. Okay? So when we see, let me go to Joel real quick, Joel 3. For behold, in those days come, saith the Lord, right, when I bring the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them there down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. So, according to end time prophecies, the people that would be in that land right now wouldn't just look like them. And we're not talking about the people that they claim have to come under them and convert. No, those top dogs, you could see they set themselves up and created a prophecy for themselves to say it's just them. But the children of Israel were scattered among the nations. When did they get scattered amongst the nations? Through slavery. I'll wait for that, because I haven't seen that. You know who got scattered throughout all the nations through slavery? We're not talking about the sub-Saharan, or we're not talking about the Barbary or Barbary. No, we're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, along with multiple trades of us being scattered. Hell, they're still trading us in sports. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's who it fits. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So these other people, they fabricated stories to make it seem like yeah, this was them, and then use their media, which is in charge of the place we're in now, right? Because at the end of the day, it's Russia and America, right? That other place, I guess that's all I'm going to say, is a front spot. That's all that is. Because who owns this? Them. This is there. See how they created a situation, put themselves in a situation, and then try to separate themselves from the situation and say, no, it's not us. America has nothing to do with us. Although America funds them billions of dollars every year for what so-called happened. But the transatlantic slave trade and our slavery, there's no funding. There's no secret that the greatest, richest athletes, millions of dollars, even some rich so-called black billionaires, they still don't own lucrative franchise chains, chains of businesses. And we're talking about fast food, jewelry. Well, you know jewelry, you can hang that up. You know what word is in jewelry, right? Restaurants, top chain restaurants in chains of them, right? You don't see that. And the one guy, LeVan Hawkins, that tried that, owned all those Checkers. And yeah, he sold out real quick. The guy that owned Chick-fil-A, the Issacarite, yeah, he sold out real quick too, for a few mil, and they got $1 billion franchise. So yeah, we're slaves. Anyway, and given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah, we know who sold the girl for wine that they might drink. Who given a boy for a harlot. So what these people try to say, since white Jesus came, all these prophecies doesn't matter at this point. There's no more prophecies because it's already written. Well, why is this Christian here trying to interpret a prophecy according to the doctrine that they created? And if that's the case, why do you have to tell people this? What this preacher is actually doing is prophesying to his congregation. That's what he's doing. He's actually a prophet, and we'll say false prophet. So when you go to church and they start speaking of these matters, you know, we do understand with the 501c3, you can't talk about a lot of situations with politics and whatever. But when you uphold them and say, yeah, this prophecy is coming to pass, you can speak on that though. Anyway, I just wanted to make it quick and just use some common sense to show you they're not the people. Isaiah 22:18, he shall surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball in a large country, and there shalt thou die, and there that the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of the Lord's house. Yeah, so again, there's no other time in history that I can recognize or even heard of that those people was tossed to and fro in another country far from their home through slavery and sold, and basically globally among all nations. We look at all nations, and how could that be when they own it? You've been tossed to and fro as a slave, but you own the place that you're going to be in. Yeah. All the media, who owns that? So it doesn't add up. Who owns the import-export trade commerce? Who owns the what do they call that? The IMF? Who owns that? Yeah. The Redstone family, who owns Viacom and a lot of those shows. BET, who owns that? So if all these people own this, how can it be that they were scattered around the globe and oppressed? Nobody can figure that part out either. Habakkuk 2, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come to pass. It will not tarry. behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith, the elect. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine. We just saw this in Joel 3. Sold a boy for a harlot and a girl for a wine that he might drink, but this is also going into philosophy. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell. So all these people that's being drawn, especially America and Russia, right? They're all Edomites. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and his death that cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth to him all people. So they're going to gather themselves up, and both of them are going to try to conquer. Kind of like Ptolemy and I can't forget Rome. I forget who it was. Antiochus. I can't remember. But he came out of the Greeks. But it was Ptolemy in Rome, and Rome went down and conquered Ptolemy. I think last time it was the Caesar, Augustus. Let me go on. I could be wrong. Let's go to Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then can the kingdom stand? So this was directed for us to understand. All the, like Romans 15 and 4, all these things was for our understanding. Right? They was calling him Satan. They was calling the Messiah Satan because he was casting out demons. So he was saying, well, if I'm Satan, how can I cast out Satan? Because Satan has a purpose. If I'm for that purpose of Satan, how am I going against him? And this is what we see with the NWO. And ultimately, it will be destroyed. Babylon will be destroyed. Now, these elites, they've admitted it that we know Babylon's going to be destroyed. They literally said it. So they're creating themselves, setting themselves up for a self-prophetic type of people, but they don't understand that it's going to be them that's going to lose in the end. Because the children of Israel, what you have done to them, the Lord is going to be with the children of Israel, and the Lord is going to save us. Today, if you would, the children of Israel will be scattered and they will be under oppression, waiting on the Messiah. So I don't get, long story short, how these people claim that they're the people, and these Christians claim that they're the people of God, and how they waiting on the Messiah when they don't even believe on the Messiah. And there will be no time that these people are going to wake up and believe in the Messiah. You would think a few of them would. Now the knockoffs do. They set them up to, these people will create things to claim they fulfilling prophecy. They'll create an orthodox, so to speak, small hat, and set him up, have him grow up, stick on beard, and say, look, he's converted. My question is, where's the prophets and the apostles, right? They say you don't need them, but how will they wake up if nobody's prophesying to them to tell them to wake up? And where they, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, no new thing under the sun. Where are they walking through the streets of Jerusalem, right, with a staff in their hand and fringes with a border of blue, running up in there, waking them up, getting chastised, all for the truth? We don't see it. That's all I have on that. Shalom.